Welcome to our series about the human design gates. And today you're going to get to learn about the gate 2. Ooh, the gate 2 is super important. It's the location of the magnetic monopole, and it's known as allowing or the keeper of the keys in the I Ching. So you're going to get to learn more in depth about this gate because you're going to be treated to a compilation of excerpts from my transit reports over the last few years where I go really in depth about each one of the gates. So you get much more of this than you would like from a book or that simple definition that I just shared with you. And if you like the video, please do give it a thumbs up, turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any of these videos about the gates that we're going to be releasing over the course of 2025. And I'd love it if you'd leave a comment because I would love to hear how it landed for you. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So the gate 2 is known as the keeper of the keys in traditional human design or allowing and quantum human design. The 2 is a really cool gate because it has the magnetic monopole. So this is a magnet that is in the G center, and it's only has one direction. It only attracts. Okay, so it's interesting because we know from like the research that's been done at HeartMath, which I've shared with you before, and it is also in my book, is that the heart actually creates a torus field, an electromagnetic field that's massive, much bigger than the field of the brain, for example. Like the brain's kind of like this, and the heart is like this, right? I mean, it's like way bigger. It's like 500 times bigger. Interesting, right? The magnetic monopole is kind of the human design version of that torus field that is pulling in. So according to the lore of human design, it just attracts, okay? It doesn't repel. So when we're relating to that gate 2, the more that we have a conscious and purposeful way of helping to uplift the quality of the energy of the gate 2, the more that we're going to bring into our lives the things that we're really longing for. So the key here, though, is allowing. It's so interesting because human design really teaches like 91 to 92% of us, everybody is not a manifester, that we're not here to go out and make things happen. Who knew? Right? We're much more designed to be relating to the flow of life through response. If we're generators, any kind of generators, that's 70% of us. And projectors are here to be relating to the flow of life and to be attracting people into our lives that are then going to invite us to do things, right? And then the reflectors are definitely attracting tons of things into their lives because they're so open. And so they're really feeling the transits all the time. So this too is going to be super important for all of us, but particularly for those of us who are not manifestors, because it's about allowing all of the things that we desire into our lives. So we want to be able to really kind of uplift that energy, which is why I provide Kriya practices, right, from Kundalini Yoga, both here on YouTube and then also inside of my Becoming virtual retreat center, because that's one of the ways that you can elevate the quality of the energy of your heart. The best way to work with the gate 2 is to really elevate the emotional tone, the kind of vibrational frequency that you are experiencing so that you're in a state of positive anticipation, expectation. You're in a state of gratitude and joy and compassion, and so on. These really kind of high frequency emotions, which then calibrate that your ability to allow in. So you want to be thinking about how can I be really in a receptive state? I really think of the 2 as being receptive. It's attracting in, it's receiving in, it's allowing in, right? And the question is what are you allowing in? Are you allowing in your abundance? Are you allowing in your prosperity? Are you allowing in the good that you desire? Because unfortunately, and I just had a conversation with a client earlier today where she was talking about how she'd put a cage around her heart when she was a young person because of being heartbroken when she was only 20 years old, right? And so she put a cage around her heart. So she kind of closed off the good that could come to her from relationships in the future. So you want to take a look for yourself about, have you closed off your heart in any way? Have you stopped that allowing? Have you stopped being receptive to that which you desire? Which I know that sounds funny, but it does happen. So for example, sometimes when we're growing up, the love gets mixed up with violence, right? That happens for people. Or it gets mixed up with judgment or narcissism or, abuse or criticism, or there was always an agenda when someone was giving us something, or there were like subtexts, subconscious things that were going on that made you be like, I don't know if I really want to, receive that, even though it was offered. What is your energy around receiving? Are you open to receive, or have you kind of shut things down a little bit? I know I have done that at points in my life too. I think we probably all have. The question is do we then take ourselves out of the cage and let our heart actually expand into its massive ability again after we've moved through the thing where we felt really hurt? We felt like we had to protect ourselves. Right. So that's something that you want to check out for yourself. So this is a really good time for you to be looking at what's your relationship to your heart energy. A lot of us are kind of around our hearts, we've been hurt, things have been hard for us and we've been challenged, maybe somebody, betrayed us or disappointed us or broke our hearts or whatever, right? Or we can even feel brokenhearted about what's happening in the world, right? Because there's all kinds of things if you look out. And so what tends to happen is we tend to kind of armor our heart, put on some body armor, kind of lock it up. Because we're like, I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to feel all of that. But the thing is when you do that, you're also not allowing in the things that you want to come to you, right? Because you can't shut it down and just let in certain things, right? It really needs to be open and receptive. Now, having said that, you also want to fill your body up with your own energy. You want to calibrate the energy of that magnetic monopole and your whole G center to the kind of highest frequency that you can reach. It's partly emotional because as we're moving into the new phase of human design, the emotional solar plexus is becoming more and more important, and it's creative emotional energy. It's not just like the feelings, right? It's like, I feel sad, I feel happy, I feel disappointed, I feel excited, right? Those are kind of feelings that do relate to the emotional solar plexus, but its true power is in its creative ability, which is that emotional energy is creative. So it's when we get really emotionally connected to and excited about and feeling positive anticipation for what it is that we want to bring into our lives, that we're uplifting the energy of that heart center. So that's one thing to really be focusing on this time is how can you be doing any energy practices that help you do that? Generally speaking, for most of us, if we go out and spend time in nature, we will feel that. If you go to the ocean and you go to the forest, if you just even go to a beautiful park where you live and you relate to a tree, you relate to water, you lie on the earth, sit with your back up against a tree and just, honor the incredible energy field of the tree and just feel the earth underneath you. All of those things tend to help us to just kind of open up and release some of those things that might have had us close down our hearts.